Whether it's urban exploration, documenting your next hike, or filming your next bicycle adventure, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 makes for an excellent wearable camera when it's mounted to your backpack. While it's not as rugged or waterproof like GoPros and similar action cameras, the Pocket 3 has several unique advantages of its own. You get mechanical image stabilization, which doesn't have the same drawbacks you get with electronic stabilization. You also get significantly better low light performance thanks to the Osmo Pocket 3's large 1-inch sensor. Finally, you also have the ability to remotely pan and tilt the camera, which makes it much easier to achieve the framing you want. Now, after trying out some different accessory options for securing my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to my backpack strap, I've finally settled on a configuration that works best for me. So before I begin talking to you about the pros and cons of all the different accessories I tried, let's first recap the 3 things you need to wear the Osmo Pocket 3. Firstly, you need a backpack, as this is where you'll be attaching your Osmo Pocket 3 to. Now, pretty much any backpack will do, so there's no need to cover it in this video. The second thing we need is an expansion adapter for the Osmo Pocket 3. This basically wraps around the camera and makes it possible to attach to GoPro style mounts. The last thing you need is the backpack mount itself, and this is what goes in between the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 in its expansion adapter and the strap of your backpack. So let's start with the expansion adapter. I originally bought this cheap one on Amazon. It's made by a company called Sunnylife, and to be honest, it functions just fine. Some nice things about it are the fact that it exposes the microSD card slot, so you can change microSD cards easily. And the 2-prong mount folds down so it doesn't get in the way too much, and you can use your Osmo Pocket 3 in this housing even when you're not wearing it. One annoying thing about it is that you can't attach or detach the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 handle or battery handle when it's already in this housing, which means you'll have to take it out and put it back in each time you want to attach the handle. However, the real problem with this one is just the build quality. I mean, this one feels really flimsy in the hands. The plastic is really thin and the latch doesn't feel secure at all. I mean, it really feels like going over a small bump in the road could accidentally release the latch, which is just not a risk you want to take with a $500 camera. So after this one, I decided to buy the official DJI expansion adapter. This is probably what I should have done from the beginning. The difference in quality is night and day. The plastic is much thicker, and the latch design is also a bit more well thought out, so there's a much lower chance of accidentally releasing it. As you can see here, you can also easily take on and off the battery handle or the small handle that you get with your camera. Now, note that access to the microSD card slot is blocked and the prongs don't fold down unlike the Sunnylife adapter, but these are really minor things that I wouldn't worry too much about. So yeah, I'd really recommend going with the official DJI expansion adapter. This just isn't a part that I would cheap out on. Now let's move on to backpack mounts. I once again ended up buying something only to realize afterwards that something different would be better for me. So this is the one I bought originally. It's from a brand called Ulanzi. I've purchased things from them before, and I've generally been pretty satisfied with everything. In this case, it wasn't so much that the product was low quality, it was just that once I started using it, I realized I would prefer a different type of backpack mount. As you can see, it's a strap type mount, which means you fasten it to your backpack strap using Velcro. One of the really cool things about this product is the modular design, which means that if you want to take the camera off, you don't necessarily have to take the whole strap mount off. You just have to unlock it by rotating it and the prong part will come off along with your camera. So funnily enough, the thing that made me want to look into other available alternatives was actually the free phone mount holder accessory that was included with this strap mount. Because this is what happens when you use it. There's no way to adjust the angle along the horizontal axis. So when my phone is inside it, it's always pointing outwards. there's no way to bring it in a bit and make it point straight forward. Now, with the Osmo Pocket 3, it's not such a big deal because the gimbal head means you can reorientate the camera. But if you're going to use it with any non-gimbal camera, it's always going to be pointed slightly outwards, which made me wonder if there were other options where the mounting angle could be adjusted in the horizontal axis. And that's what led me to this backpack mount from Telesin. As you can see, this is a clip type design instead of a strap. It has a spring-loaded clamp which grips onto your backpack strap. Note that there is also a strap version of this mount, but I personally prefer this clip design just because it's quicker to take on and off. What really made me settle on this one is the ball head mount, which means you have complete control over how the 3-prong mount is angled. I should mention this ball head joint is another moving part, which means we have another potential point of failure. But it feels pretty solid to me, and since I'm not doing anything too crazy with my Osmo Pocket 3, it should be just fine. And just briefly going back to the question of the clip type versus the strap type of mount, an issue I ran into with the strap style mount was that with a thinner backpack strap like this one here, it wasn't possible to fasten it tight enough to prevent it from slipping up or down. By comparison, the clip style didn't have this issue. It felt really secure even on a thinner strap. But on the flip side, this clip's teeth do dig in quite a bit, and if your backpack strap is made from a really soft fabric, there is a risk that it could damage it or slowly wear it down. So you may be wondering why I didn't just buy the official DJI strap mount, and there are a few reasons. The Ulanzi one just seemed more appealing to me in the beginning because the GoPro style mount can be rotated 90 degrees for some added versatility, and it also has the detachable mount which gives you an easy way to unmount your Pocket 3 at any time. And then compared to the Telesin, the DJI obviously lacks the ball head joint, which is a big deal for me. Even if the Pocket 3 lets you reposition the camera, I still want things to be as centered as possible to start with. I noticed that even in the official DJI promotional photo for this strap, that the Osmo Action is angled slightly outwards, which is something that I know would bother me a lot. Before I end this video, I wanted to talk about the wearable mode, which is what I recommend using when the Pocket 3 is mounted to your backpack. You can activate it by swiping down and going to settings and looking for wearable mode. When activated, it will ensure that your camera turns on with the camera facing backwards, and you can double tap the screen at any time to recenter the gimbal. You'll want to make sure that your Pocket 3's firmware is up to date, since the May 2024 firmware update made it so that the screen will also turn off automatically after 5 seconds in this mode. Note that the Pocket 3 stays in wearable mode even between restarts, and you can exit the mode at any time by swiping up from the bottom of the screen.